Are you currently using your voice, speaking on stages, getting out there, being visible, but you are not producing the revenue that you would like from those opportunities? Well, this one is for you. Imagine if you could make 3 to 10 times more every time you get out there and use your voice, whether that is guesting on a podcast, hosting a podcast, running a live stream, a webinar, speaking on a stage, speaking even to small rooms for a lunch presentation. So often people are not making the revenue that they can, and I want to talk to you about how to leverage every one of those opportunities so that you can really grow your revenue and your business and not just spend time being visible. So that's what I want to dive into. Because for a lot of years, when I was growing businesses, I knew getting out there and speaking or doing a presentation could sell my services, but I was missing some pieces. And so often it turned into I hoped I made some sales. I hoped I got business from what I was doing. I didn't have the right structure or strategy or engineering behind everything I was doing, or even the intentionality behind what I was doing. And so a lot of times I would get applause and people would say, Anne, that was amazing. We loved it. Oh my gosh, that was so good. But I didn't see the money go into the bank. Maybe you've been there. Have you been there? Maybe you're even experiencing that a lot of times now when you get out there and speak or guest on a podcast. But what I've discovered through the years is that it actually can be your biggest revenue driver. If you're someone like me, you love to show up, you love to give value, you love to speak and make connections with people, have conversations, share your expertise, then you have a huge opportunity here to turn what you are doing into big paydays and big revenue leaps. There are three breakdowns as people are intentionally trying to think about speaking as their strategy. And again, it can be hosting a podcast or guesting on podcast. But what I want you to understand is that every single thing you are doing needs its own strategic plan. And this is the part that a lot of people are missing. In fact, I was missing it for a lot of years. And I can't even imagine now the money that I did not make because I didn't understand what I now do in my business. When I think about the first time I had a $60,000 day with a small live event that I hosted with about 12 business owners, it was the biggest day I had had from speaking or using my voice, and it blew my mind. And I realized then, wow, this is so powerful. And so I learned how to speak even to a very small room and turn that into big paydays. But when I came online and I started doing things virtually, and I started hosting a podcast, I guested on over 100 podcasts. My first year hosting a podcast, I made $0. It was just money and time going out and nothing coming back in from that. When I guested on over 100 podcasts, again, no money came from that. So here are three areas where I believe there are breakdowns, and there are many things within each one of these areas. And once you apply, these three areas have to be dialed in if you're going to get the biggest results that you can from what you are doing. Now, I'm going to be going deeper into these things if you want to join me for a live event. If you want to get better results from everything that you're doing, you want to make bigger revenue leaps from everything that you're doing, I want to invite you to join me for a special live event where I'm going to talk about each one of these things in more detail. And you can go to speaksellscaleworkshop.com and apply to receive an invitation or request an invitation to attend that event. If you are watching this long after that event is over and you can no longer register for that event, then you can book a call with me at acarden.com. I will take a look at what you're doing with speaking or using your voice, how you're doing that, and I will show you the path to make a lot more money with what you're doing. Okay, so I want to prove to you that it doesn't matter what you're doing, The strategic side of things can work when you are setting things up in the right way, when you're setting them up very intentional, you're making decisions that are going to really grow your revenue. So I took 13 random opportunities where I showed up and used my voice. I figured out the money that I made on just those 13 things. And it was a mix. And I will tell you this, none of them were big stages with big audiences. And that's really the power of what I'm teaching you today, because you don't need to be on a big stage with big audiences to make a lot of money from what it is you are doing. And I am proof of that. And my clients are proof of that. I made over $619,000 from those 13 opportunities, and it was about $47,000 average per opportunity. So it was significant in the money that was made. I tell you this because as I discovered, there were three major areas that I learned how to dial in with whatever I was doing. And so this is what I want to share with you today. First of all, write this down. Most revenue is lost before the mic, meaning you don't have a strategic engineered plan to turn that opportunity into a big payday. I've had days that I've made over six figures. I've closed high five-figure clients from a podcast interview. I've closed over six-figure clients from one webinar that I ran on LinkedIn. I mean, it's so significant when you dial these things in. It's such a game changer when you dial these things in. But you need a better strategic plan with every single thing you are doing. If you're hosting your own podcast, but it's not bringing you the money that you would like, that needs to be fixed. If you're running live streams, but you're not getting the money that you want from those live streams, that strategy needs to be re-engineered. And when you do that, all of those things are before the mic, right? You do all of that before you ever do that opportunity or accept an opportunity. Okay, the second big piece of making a lot more money through everything that you're doing is from the mic. Once you're on the mic, see, I see people spend more time on their presentation, practicing their presentation, trying to have a great presentation than they actually do on the strategic side of things. And that's why it's more like hope marketing or luck when they get clients or they get results. So from the mic is where, if you don't strategically have the plan to influence buyers and convert buyers, then again, you're going to be leaving a fortune on the table. You're showing up, you're doing all the hard stuff, but it's not growing your business the way it could. And then finally, what happens after the mic? You need a strategic engineered plan. So there are these three gaps that are typically in people's businesses when they're out there doing all the stuff, being visible, but you may not need more visibility. You may just need to make what you are doing work better. And that is what this can help you do. So look, if you are not making the money that you want from the things that you're already out there doing, you want some help. You want someone to diagnose where the breakdowns are and help you fix those things. It's more than the presentation. Now, I'm not making any income claims here, but I will tell you that almost everyone has money they're leaving on the table because they haven't dialed these things in. I hope you found this valuable. If you need some help speaking, selling, and scaling, and really getting those big revenue leaps, then book a call with me at acarden.com and let me help you fix what isn't working, refine what can be better, and start getting better results from the hard work that you're out there doing. It's not about more visibility. It's about making that visibility pay off. You have an amazing day. God